Very much. I think, like we have agreed, a good foundation has been laid. And I think for me, one thing that we have realized in discharging our duty is that the commitment, the passion, the sincerity of purpose of Mr. President is never in doubt. He has said it times without number, I'm human. I make errors. Anything that is not right, point it out to me and I'm going to take action. Secondly, I've given you all the powers. Go to your sectors and help me to deliver on what I promised to Nigerians. Now, to look back at what you have said, I want to believe, first, you have to realize that you are dealing with human beings. And I think that realization points to the issues you've raised about a country on paper, which we must bring down so that people can begin to appreciate that this is our country. One area that I see that as significant is the dignity of every human being lies in the fact that he should not go hungry. A hungry man, they said, is an angry man. And I believe at the root of all of this is the reason why the president is giving us massive support in the agricultural sector to do all the things we need to do. And like I've said, we've laid a solid foundation. Going forward, we have a number of things we intend to do. We are bringing back so many things to ensure that Nigerians will begin to see the agricultural sector as where they can go and get very good job to do, get their wealth, because the wealth in the agricultural sector is more of a sustainable wealth. If you have a successful farm operation, that can keep repeating itself year on year. And there is nothing more sustainable than that. So I think we've realized this, and we want Nigerians to see that the agricultural sector should be, agriculture itself should be seen as a business. Now, we also realize that many people will tell you the agriculture of hoe and cutlass is not exciting and it's not inviting.
Obviously not.
Yes, definitely. So, and the youth, who constitute about the majority of our population, 90-year-old is the average age of the greater majority of our population, which is more than 54%. So, if you look at all of this, you realize that you don't have to do those things that will invite and excite the youth. And we also have to guarantee that food is available. And that explains why when there was that, food crisis late last year, coming into the first quarter of this year, there were a lot of measures that were approved and were taken. The strategic reserve, we had to go into it. 42,000 metric tons of assorted food was distributed. We also had to look at the various rice millers that are having stock. And here again, we had about 58,000 metric tons that was procured and distributed across the various, just to dampen the effect. But you see, agriculture is not something you do in a flash, and it has a season. So what we are trying to do in the Ministry of Agriculture, and which we have actually put our pedal on, is to say that all year-round farming should be guaranteed. So we are working massively on that, and we are cleaning the system also, because you cannot have a system that when you say you are talking about farmers, you don't even know who these farmers are. And you will remember many times we have been here to say, look, we want to take out the ghost farmers. We want to take out the portfolio farmers. We want genuine farmers. And so we are doing everything we can to make sure that we know where our farms are. Because if you know where your farms are, and you are targeting, for example, if you say 1 million hectares of farm, where are these 1 million hectares? What is this 1 million hectares going to do, for example? So this is where we are also making some changes to ensure that on a sustainable basis, Nigerians can be sure that, yes, our food system is working, and Nigerians will also get to know where their food is coming from.
Earlier on, you talked about the issue of Nigeria having the huge population of the youths and their interest in agriculture. Most of these youths are not interested in agriculture because of these traditional means of agriculture that we still practice. How do you begin to change their mindset now? Because most people are talking about mechanized, farming, deploying technology,
Yes,
to get the interest of the youth. So what are you doing in that line?
In this administration,
yes,
I will tell you mechanization is a major component of the changes we are bringing. The current mechanization level in the country is about 0.027 horsepower per hectare. The African average is 1.7, and the best bet you can have is 2.5 horsepower per hectare. So we have programs that are right now in the works. We have a memorandum of understanding with John Deere, which is designed for us to have injection of 10,000 tractors and other, farm mechanization tools for the Nigerian farming ecosystem. And it will start with 2,000. And this 2,000, as we speak, we've been informed, 500 is already shipped and they are on the way to this country. Then we also have the Green Imperative program, which is about 900 plus, million euros. That program also is being worked on.
Okay.
It is designed to have mechanization, that is tractors, and at the same time, mechanization service centers across the 774 local government. Because in the past, when tractors are introduced and they are bad, you don't have service centers. Only some few people that you have trained here and there. So there is a new system that will come along with all of this, tractorization, projects that we're talking about. We also have the Greener Hope mechanization project, which is also similar, and is also going to bring in tractors, at the same time mechanization service centers. And here, when we talk about, we talk about tractors, there are ridges, there are what did they call it, planters, and there are also hand tillers. Now, I remember when we were discussing this in one forum, one young man said, Oga, please tell them that the tractor should come with AC so that I can wear tie while using, and I will tell you, all of the equipments we are talking about are modern. They come with electronic, and you can actually track performance and so many other things. So these are the things we are looking at. But also of note is the fact that there are new technologies in terms of how you produce hydroponics, green, that is greenhouses, and drip irrigation that comes along with all of this. These are the things we are looking at, and we are hoping in the course of time we are going to begin to have the youth. And in fact, let me say this. When people say the youth are no longer interested, I think that has changed. The youths are interested.
I agree.
And I have seen many youth programs. Just last week was, I think, 20th of May was World Bee Day. And there are some young Nigerians that have formed themselves into, young bee clubs, or they have an initiative, and their target is that the bee industry is a multi-trillion-dollar industry. And they want Nigeria to participate, so that at the end of the day, they will be able to also contribute to satisfying local demand, but at the same time also targeting local market, especially along the African continental free trade agreement.
Dr. Abdullahi, thank you. Before we bring in Madam, I also want to say each time we talk about mechanization and other factors, it will appear as if we are in agriculture, we are addressing the surface of the wound and not looking at the wound itself. And for 4 consecutive periods, food items have driven our inflation. I'm sure you're aware of that. It is the main driver of our inflation as it is now. And it's not as if there is food scarcity. The indicators show that we have enough food items. And so it's not as if, yes, you're doing a lot to increase the food item to ensure that. And yet, the president said in that speech, and he was very emphatic, that look, one of the things this administration will do is to ensure that food is available and less costly, farmers earn more and Nigerians pay less, you know. So in the area of food prices, are you concerned? Are we doing anything to stabilize the prices? You know, like what the First Lady is doing. She's encouraging women. Hey, every woman should begin to grow, you know, your own food in your own house. In your own house. So when you do that, you are addressing the issue.
Yeah.
In a way.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely, you are correct. And let me say this, that unfortunately agriculture is not operating in a vacuum. It's a major component of our economy. And when you look at the drivers of cost, the cost drivers within the space you are talking about, there are things that are external to us. But what we are doing is we are trying to address all of these things in a systematic manner, because we believe when prices go up due to external shocks, produce more. Because when you have more, definitely it is going to force down price in some ways. We know this is not happening very fast because the season is not within our control. During the dry season, I told you what we're able to do has helped to dampen and keep it in some steady form, even though you see it again suddenly going up, maybe as a result of some other shocks. And one of the key contributors here is transport costs. And you agree with me that based on the new policy that Mr. President has directed, the use of CNG, we are looking forward to when that now become massively available, because it will help to now drive down the cost. So you can see, while we are doing our own component, the other sectors also are trying their own component that has that, you know, tangential responsibility to what we are doing. Because if you go to the market today and ask, they will tell you at the point of where they are purchasing this particular product, this is the cost.
Is there any reason why a basket of tomato is 150,000 naira against 40,000?
Yes, you see, you have to interrogate that, and it is not going to be a one-off answer you get. Definitely not. But then let me say one thing. I'm happy you've noted the issue of wanting to have production. Now, with the new technology of hydroponics, greenhouse, if you are able to massively increase the opportunities available to us to produce not just tomato but many other horticultural products, it will help to bring down cost. And that is one of the things we are doing. In fact, this year we are also having a project that we're going to partner with the Office of the First Lady, based on that mantra of wanting to bring agriculture in that small, you know, bit.
Yes,
because it helps.
Every home a garden.
Yes, it helps to contribute into, because any home that is able to produce what they are able to eat, they are not going to the market. So the pressure on demand in the market will be
reduced.
So I want to say very clearly that one thing about this government is whatever you are doing, you must take a holistic look at it. And collaboration, interagency collaboration, partnership and working together is also one very critical success factor of how the president has directed all ministries to operate. And we are taking that very seriously. And not only that, we are also looking at all other subnationals down to the local government. Because for us in agriculture, that is where agriculture takes place. And in everything we are doing, even the grain we distributed in partnership with NEMA. So you can see the same element of partnership again. And they have a better logistical system, and we've worked with them. But in all, when you go down, you see everybody participating, because transparency is the hallmark of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
Thank you very